Senator Chris Dodd's seat isn't the only hot ticket. A line of challengers is eyeing Congressman Chris Murphy's job. Mark Greenberg is here to say why he wants to go to Washington. Also, every week we get deluged by new poll numbers. This candidate is beating this candidate. Voters support this issue, not that one. What does it all mean 5 months off from Election Day? And Hartford's mayor is on trial for corruption. The prosecution is rested. Now he's having his chance to set the record straight. Hi, you're watching The Real Story. I'm Lori Perez. Today we jump into the 5th District and the increasingly aggressive campaign for the seat held by Congressman Chris Murphy, who has been in office since 2006. Before they get to him, though, Republicans will battle it out amongst themselves in the primary. State Senator Sam Caligiuri is the Republican Party-endorsed candidate. Justin Bernier, a veteran who served in Afghanistan and was director of Connecticut's Office of Military Affairs, is also in the mix, as is our first guest, Litchfield businessman Mark Greenberg. Mark, thanks for being here.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Let's just start off giving us a little bit of information about yourself. Introduce yourself, if you will.
Well, I'm 56 years old. I have 4 children, young children, ages 7, 5, 3, and 10 months old.
Wow, little.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've been in business for 35 years. I started in New York. I own real estate in New York, and then 15 years ago I decided to buy and invest real estate in Connecticut.
And how's that business been for you?
Well, it's been very good for me, other than the last 2 years where things took a downturn, starting September 08. But generally, I'm blessed. I've been a product of the American dream. I'm very proud of that. And I want the next generations of Americans to have the same benefits that I had as I grew up.
And what was it when you were watching Chris Murphy and his time there in Washington that you said, you know what, I can do a better job?
Well, I think that he's doing almost everything wrong. He votes with Pelosi 98% of the time, or what I call the triumvirate of Reid, Pelosi, and Obama. And they spend in Washington money they don't have. Mm-hmm. When you or I write a check, we have to have money in the bank to support it. In Washington, they don't care about that. The debt ceiling is $14 trillion. The budget is overdrawn by $1.42 trillion. Last year, it's going to be 1.6 or more this year.
But isn't that kind of a simplistic kind of an analysis of the situation? I mean, they're not going to be able to only work within their means, or do you think that they
Well, I think they should. Mm-hmm. I think they should live within the means like you and I live within our means. They have to reduce spending. They have to cut the marginal rates. We have to simplify the tax code. We have to live within our means, because if we don't, our children, my 4 children, if you have children or grandchildren, they're going to be enslaved by debt.
Mm-hmm. And you, I suppose, are saying that your business experience is going to help you to make the decisions that could help get the country back on the right track.
Well, absolutely. I have 35 years of business experience. I think we need more people with business experience in Washington who have written checks for payroll, written their names on the front of checks as opposed to the back of checks, who've paid workers' compensation insurance, who've done all the things that are necessary in order to survive in hard times. I think we have too many laws, and I think we have too many lawyers in Washington. We need business experience.
Yeah, why is everybody kind of tapping into that kind of I'm an outsider title? What's the deal with being an outsider? I mean, what's wrong with, when did having experience all of a sudden become like taboo?
Well, the problem with being an insider is that the inside track hasn't worked. Mm-hmm. The insiders have gone down to Washington. They've created their own club in Washington. They've drunken from the Kool-Aid there, and they like staying there forever. Mm-hmm. We need citizen government, people who will go down, spend 2 years or 4 years, and come back up. Come back to their old jobs. That's what was intended in the Constitution.
So give me a specific example of what kind of a program you might bring with you to Washington if you get elected.
Well, I'll bring down with me a clear sense of simplifying things, of reducing spending, of reducing taxes, reducing marginal rates, mm-hmm. and creating a culture which is fair and vibrant once again. We have a culture down there which isn't, which only concerns itself with the people re-electing themselves time and time again.
So is there one department or one program that you look at right now and you say, no, that's out?
Well, yes, Department of Energy is number one. It's gone. The imports have been 85% increase since it was created in 1977. Mm-hmm. Department of Education, gone.
Not going to exist?
Not going to exist, at least in its present form. Mm-hmm. We do a much better job of teaching our children at the local level, of establishing curriculum at the local level. It's always been my feeling that the best teachers are parents. when parents read to their children at night or go over math tables. These are the best teachers, are the parents. We do this better at the local level at all times.
What about health care? Because obviously Chris Murphy had a lot to do with health care. Would you vote to repeal the health care reform bill?
I've already signed the pledge to repeal it. It's the wrong answer.
There's no parts of it that you would keep?
No, I wouldn't say that there's no parts that I would keep. There's certain things that we need to address. We need to address tort reform. That wasn't addressed at all in that law. We need to address portability of policies. We need to address the ability of companies selling their products across lines. For instance, in New York State, you cannot buy a catastrophic insurance policy. It's not available. In Connecticut, you can. We need those products available in all 50 states. There are portions of this health care insurance system that need fixing, but not by overhauling everything and rendering the health delivery system incapable of delivering those services to the people.
Interesting. Well, how has your message been received so far? First of all, are you a Republican? You're a Tea Partier, or you're a Republican, or what's...
Well, I do go to Tea Party rallies. I have tremendous grassroots support. I believe I am the candidate of the grassroots. As a matter of fact, very shortly, the Independence Caucus will be announcing that I am their endorsed candidate.
Excellent.
I've gotten other endorsements from leaders of Tea Party groups. So I believe that I am the grassroots candidate. These people were out getting petitions for me to get on the primary. We got over 3,000 signatures. In order to qualify, we needed 1,859. But these grassroots people, my volunteers, think it's so important for me to be on the ballot that they were out 10 hours a day getting those petitions.
Isn't the primary, though, all this primary activity going to hurt the chances of any of you taking Chris Murphy's seat?
No, that's absolute fallacy. The primary system is a good instrument for democracy in this country to determine the best candidate. And the bottom line is the person who comes out of the primary, I believe, will be stronger to take on Chris Murphy. Now, I know in my case I'll have sufficient funds to go up against him because I've pledged $1 million or more of my own resources.
Yeah, talk about that. So is that at least $1 million, or?
That's the floor.
Okay.
$1 million is the floor, and I will spend what's necessary to win the seat.
What's necessary? That means whatever's necessary?
It means what's necessary.
You got that kind of cash?
I do.
Excellent.
Yes.
All right. And I know that you wanted to mention also the business that is dearest to your heart at this point. You just opened up an animal foundation in Bloomfield, you were telling me.
That's right. We opened up a 36,000 square foot foundation called the Simon Foundation. It's a 501c3 foundation, state-of-the-art, and we opened up 6 weeks ago in Bloomfield, Connecticut.
And tell people what it is exactly.
Well, what we do is we take in dogs and cats who would otherwise die or be euthanized in kill shelters, and we take them into our facility, then find loving homes for them.
And how many animals can you care for?
200, 130 dogs,
wow,
and 75 cats.
Has that been something that's always been important to you?
It's been a love of mine and my wife's for the last 7, 8, 9 years.
All right, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming by. We appreciate you taking time, and we enjoyed learning a little bit more about you. I'm sure that we would love to have you back.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Good luck at the primary as well. Up next, how much attention do you pay to polls? We ask the experts about the need for numbers.